I'm just using the webcam of my Mac, so I know the quality isn't as good as my other videos. But I just think this is really cool that I have the ability to go live right to my YouTube channel. It kind of blows my mind. I still remember when I was a little kid watching black and white TV. I just dated myself, right? Felix the cat. Anyway, hey, I shared a picking exercise a while back that's I'm kind of calling it Al Di Meola. Whoops, I got to get rid of this. So I know I'm getting the reverb here. Let me click this little button here. Boom, there we go. I clicked. I shared a video a while back of a little picking exercise. I'm kind of calling it an Al Di Meola picking exercise. It's just a picking exercise, but Al Di Meola has an incredible right hand, and that did not happen by accident. It was. I used to be a drummer as well, and Al Di Meola used to be a drummer, and I can tell by his solos and by watching his right hand and his tremendous sense of syncopation, I can tell how he used to practice and the stories, the rumors of him locking himself in a closet for 6, 7, 8 hours a day practicing scales are still going around. But I want to share with people, I'm actually doing this exercise 2 hours every day and plan on doing that for at least the next 6 months. Folks, when you set goals on guitar, that's when you really make some quantum leaps. You can't always tell that you're making that leap, but when you practice correctly, it's like putting money in the bank and never having to take it out. It's cumulative. So I just want to share this one more time. It's a very simple exercise. Of course, you can do variations on it, but I'm doing this 2 hours a day. If anybody wants to join me, and then like in 3 or 4, 5, 6 months, we share our results, that'd really be cool. I would really enjoy that. But if you really want to build, right hand technique, you got to put in some time. And when I was I'm 63 now, but when I was a young man, I used to practice 8 to 12 hours a day. And I know a lot of us out there can't put in that kind of time now. But if you can put in a couple hours a day on picking technique, it's really going to pay off for you. Anyway, so the exercise was this. It was, and you can use any scale you want, but you do like 8 notes, then a little sequence, and then 5. So. Okay. So and you can do it the other way too. You can start with 5, but something about starting with 8 I like. I think it teaches your right hand to flutter. It opens the blood vessels. It kind of gets that kind of phrase memory locked into your head, and look at your right hand when you do this. So start with 8. I know you probably can't see my right hand real good, but. What you'll find as you do this exercise, the 8 notes will just really bubble out, and don't worry about that. Don't worry if it seems like that's a little in a little bit different time than the other notes, because you're teaching your right hand to kind of burst. You're teaching it to kind of just really like hummingbird fly. So if you're doing that, I don't know if I'm not. I need to be warmed up to do this, so this may not work. But it's like, yeah, I can't do it right now. Just you're gonna hear those 8 notes kind of like bubble out a little bit quicker. But it takes me a good hour to warm up, so I don't want to try to do something. But just like I said, if anybody out there wants to join with me 2 hours a day on doing this exercise, you can start with the 5, like. I like to do the mute because it creates a little more tension in the right hand, so that's why I do it that way. But see, if you even just do it like this, I'm not kidding, I'm doing this 2 hours a day, maybe more, but I'm doing it at least 2 hours every day, and I'm going to do that for 6 months. That's how you reach. You have to have goals on guitar, folks. You have to have goals, whether it's developing technique, learning how to improvise, learning how to compose, learning how to get your musical tool chest together, learning about the 10 systems of improvisation, which is what the Guitar Ladder system teaches. But anyway, let's stay focused on this. So there's the 8. Maybe put the accent on the first. Bam. Hear that? So 5, 8, 5, 8. The really cool thing about guitar is that if you focus yourself and have a little discipline and develop a concentration and a focus and stick to it, and don't be so results oriented and don't be so outcome oriented, and just work on something, man, that the results just come tumbling after you. You develop cumulative results and cumulative power. But I know it kind of sounds like a mind tweak, but the law of neuroplasticity is a really interesting thing. The way your subconscious mind, the way your nervous system absorbs and processes information, the way you create new neural pathways, all of this works better if you don't put pressure on yourself, you don't focus on outcome, you don't focus on results. Kind of the metaphysics of music, you know. It's really powerful though, but like I said, if you just do this exercise really nice and slow and clean. So you start with 8, 5, 8. It's a little hard to talk and do this at the same time. Okay. And you can use any kind of a scale you want. Like, here's a diminish. Hungarian minor. And you can vary it. Another thing that really, I think, doing double triplets. See, DiMeola used to be a drummer, so he at one point in his life worked on those 25, 26 drum rudiments, like single paradiddles, double paradiddles, flammecues, all that kind of stuff. And that, I think that kind of helped DiMeola in his brain develop his tremendous sense of syncopation and rhythm. And it's a really pretty interesting thing trying to understand an artist and how they developed and everything. I'm really having a lot of fun. And I've been watching the Al Di Meola video where he's playing nylon string guitar and kind of a Latin thing, and songs like Siberiana, and I love that. I love that live concert. It's really exciting. He's an interesting artist, you know. But anyway, I really like his acoustic playing a lot. But anyway, so this exercise one more time, then I'm going to get off of here. As you can probably tell, I'm doing some notes with the mute, and then sometimes I'm taking my hand off in the same exercise and doing without the mute. I think that's kind of good to do too. So I'm doing the mute with the 8 notes to create more tension, and then I'm raising my hand up for the 5 notes to have less tension. So I'm teaching my right hand that flexibility and teaching it to have an option, and teaching it what it feels like to have tension, less tension, more tension. I think a lot of people don't focus on the right hand. I've seen some really, really great players with a ton of knowledge that have very little technique. And I think some of technique is genetics, but a lot of it is practice. And I think you have to put the time in. You don't have to, but if you really want to round out your playing, If you want to give yourself the ability to compose, if you want to give yourself the ability to be a more exciting player and add more dimension and more color, more tension and resolution, more range to your music, developing some power and some technique in your right hand is a huge, huge part of that whole game, right? All right, so one more time. See here, now I'm resting, bringing the hand up, bringing their hand up on the five. So mute, hand up. I wasn't even aware I was doing that, but the more I think about it, it really makes a lot of sense because you kind of give your right hand, training in different ways of feeling the notes and feeling your phrase. So it's pretty cool. So one more time, then I'm gonna let this baby go. So. So that's my wife in the background. Hopefully she doesn't want to check for being part of my YouTube video. But anyway, go ahead and work on that exercise. And like I said, I'm doing the notes like 8 with the mute. And then no mute for 5. Well, there, I know I opened it up. So anyway, it's a really good exercise, folks. I'm doing it 2 hours a day and plan on it for the next 6 months. I'm not kidding. That's how I've reached a lot of goals. All right, my phone's ringing. I got to go. Talk to you soon. Take care.